Thanks, Anne. So you're asking me why won't health officials endorse the vaccine plan that's outlined in my book, and am I under any pressure as a result? It's interesting. You know, when you're in medical school, you're taught about all the safety issues. Vaccines are safe and effective, and if you do anything to challenge that, you're looked upon as anti-vaccine. I am not anti-vaccine. I am pro-science, and I've studied the science extensively over the last 15 years. Um, One of the issues is, so Bob Sears came out with his book, the vaccine book, in about 2008, and he had several plans he had outlined in that book, and he was immediately discredited by the Academy of Pediatrics, with which both he and I are a member of the Academy of Pediatrics. Many people have heard of the term, it's now a new word probably, Wakefielded. In the medical community, he was ostracized and ultimately lost his license for going up against the vaccine pharmaceutical industry. And, you know, there's real fear, folks. I'm one of the directors of PIC, Physicians for Informed Consent. We have over 200 members. We're growing rapidly. There are lots of us who are concerned about vaccine safety, current schedule, concerned about the ingredients in some of the vaccines, but it is very difficult to find physicians willing to be vocal and open about that. So, for example, I just welcome the RFK Jr. commission that Trump is trying to put together to get at the vaccine safety issue and openness in scientific research. But back to my book, The Vaccine Friendly Plan. This is a pro-vaccine book, but it's not pro-vaccine in the sense that it's science-based. There are about 300 references, and they're available on drpaulapproved.com. You can go to the reference link, and all the abstracts are there, or at least most of them that I could get a hold of. You will find that there is good scientific reason to do a vaccine schedule that's different than that the CDC and the AAP are promoting. The easy examples are during pregnancy. We've never studied long-term outcomes for injecting aluminum into a pregnant mom or giving flu shots to pregnant moms. We just don't have the long-term data. The package inserts for those vaccines explicitly state that. So we shouldn't be injecting pregnant moms. That's a no-brainer. Another easy example is the hepatitis B vaccine. Less than 1% of moms in America have hepatitis B. Those are the babies born to a mom infected with hepatitis B who need that vaccine. 99% of us do not. And just removing that off the schedule is a no-brainer. It's common sense. A lay person with a 6th grade education understands that, but somehow the CDC and the AAP and most physicians are not able to. Let me explain a little bit why that might be. As a pediatrician, I am graded on the quality of the care that I give. So this is a quality measures is a big sort of buzzword in medicine. And somebody has to decide what are the criteria by which we determine if this is a good doctor. So what are our quality measures? Well, in pediatrics, invariably, vaccine rates are a quality measure. One of the health plans in our town for a few years, I fought it and finally got that one removed. But for a few years, it was how many of your 2-year-olds were completely vaccinated? In other words, they'd had all 20, or it's been a while since I've counted the total number, but a lot of vaccines. Well, if you're using common sense, you don't do the hepatitis B for 99% of the babies because they are at zero risk. So my complete vaccination rate, it's all or none, was less than 1%. So I am one of the worst doctors. So doctors are under this kind of pressure, whether it be from the health plan or whether they're simply afraid of their medical board coming after their license. They don't want to speak up. And that's a sad state of affairs. We should have open scientific inquiry, and I'm hopeful that we're going to head that direction with this new panel that Trump has suggested RFK head up. As to the vaccine-friendly plan, we have data showing no new autism in the group that was studied. So when I opened my new practice, Integrative Pediatrics, in June of 2008, most. So we did an informed consent process. Here's what you're supposed to do, which is the entire vaccine schedule according to the CDC. Here's what I would do if it was my kid and why, and you choose. And I would say 99% of the patients, once informed, for example, about the hepatitis B situation, chose to put it off. So that plan is outlined in my book. It's no Hep B at birth. You're going to do that closer to the teen years when they're going to be at risk. Sex and IV drug use is how you catch hepatitis B. In the vaccine-friendly plan, you don't do any vaccines if you have a strong family history of autism or autoimmune. You put off the MMR till age 3. We've got great data that giving the MMR at age 3, just one shot, gives you 99% chance of protection down the road. We have that data. We put off the Hep A, we wait on the chickenpox, and you only do one aluminum-containing vaccine at a time. So you still protect against pertussis, which can kill infants. About 5 to 10 infants a year die in the United States of pertussis. That's not a lot, but if it was your baby, you wouldn't be happy. So maybe giving that vaccine could give you some protection. So that's still on that schedule. The Hib and the Prevnar that prevent meningitis, again, these are small numbers, but we don't want to leave a child unprotected from meningitis. Those are given as well, but spaced out, so that you have the protection, but it's a less toxic system. We had success with this. We closed the data set in February of 2015. We had over 1,000 patients who followed this plan, not a single new case of autism. And you had to be 2 years and 3 months old to be in the study, so that at least there was a chance you would have autism have developed. The average age in the group was 4 years, no new autism. The second group vaccinated, 238 patients, not a single case of autism. They were hands down the healthiest kids. And the third group, we had about 9 kids who were more heavily vaccinated, some of them on the complete somewhere else in joint practice. And we had 15 cases of autism or autism spectrum, rate of 1 in 60. Why won't people follow this other plan, the vaccine-friendly plan? All I can say is fear and ignorance. And honestly, we need more data anyway. I'm not saying my plan is perfect. I'm sure it's not, but it's certainly a start. We're going to have to start looking at long-term studies that compare unvaccinated, that compare perhaps the vaccine-friendly plan approach, and that compares the CDC approach. If it's done with informed consent, it should be completely ethical. I have patients beating down the door to my office. We grew from 1,000 to 13,000 patients in the last 7 years. And we've had waiting lists. We closed our practice for 2 years. We just couldn't absorb the volume. If you're a pediatrician thinking, oh, I can't do that, I'm going to lose all my patients, it's the opposite. Families, as they're waking up to this issue, want doctors who will honor informed consent and give them reasonable options. You're going to have to educate yourself because, you know, where I stood when I didn't know any of this information, I couldn't possibly recommend anything other than the CDC schedule. I was of that mind that those are the smartest doctors, they must know best. But you know, if you really start to think about it, and this was the last straw that broke the camel's back for me, was back in the early 2000s when they moved the hepatitis B from teenagers to newborns and did it to everyone. It made absolutely no sense. Oh yeah, it was sold to us, maybe we'll develop a population that's immune to hepatitis B. Well, we know that's not the case. Infants who get that series today are at a much higher risk of autism. We have that data in the literature. Infants who get the series as an infant have a 24% chance of being immune at age 20. When do you need protection against hepatitis B? When you're age 20, right? Late teens, 20s. We have an opportunity to do things better. And I urge you, if you're listening to this, if you're a parent, look into this. Don't just accept what you're being told to do by a pediatrician or family doctor or a doctor who is not aware of all the studies. Read the vaccine-friendly plan, do your research, and we're going to make a difference for America.